Have no fear, your friendly neighborhood banner man is here. All right, so today we're gonna talk about a build that I made recently, um, and I'm pretty happy with where it's at the moment. It's a support build. It's the first time I've had some real fun playing Path of Exile 2 in Dawn of the Hunt. Um, it's my most enjoyable build I have currently. It's the thing that I enjoy playing the absolute most. It's also, funny enough, the thing that most people enjoy playing with me the most. So, for the most part, when I jump into a group and I play with another group, or like play with a bunch of random players, whatever it is, this is the guy that everybody's always like, oh my god, this is so good. I fucking love this build. You're just like, can you like stay? Can I like send you a friend request? Can we like play some more? Stuff like that. And so not everybody, it's not just me getting the absolute utmost enjoyment out of playing this. Also, everybody else who I'm playing with get the same amount of enjoyment. However, that being said, this is not a solo playable build. You will not be able to play this build solo. This is strictly for playing in a group session. It's strictly for playing with other people. There is no place for you to be playing this solo because it's just simply not possible. So do not try that. Now, that being out of the way, let's go quickly over like a couple of things with the build. So the build is, let's go over the gear first. We have a scepter with a decent amount of spirit. As you'll see, we have 286 spirit, but we need a lot of spirit. So for that reason, we got a scepter as our main hand. On our second hand, we are trying to pull out a bunch of resistances, preferably as much as possible. So the more the merrier, basically. But also getting a little bit of stats here is really, really nice. So the 25 dexterity, for instance, really does help out in the long terms. And for our helmet, we are, of course, trying to gain as much energy shield, as much life, as much rarity, and stuff like intelligence, resistances, stuff like that. That's what we're basically going for. Now, this helmet could be a lot better in terms of the base itself, and some of the mods that spawned on it could be better. But for now, it's fine by me. It's kind of what I needed it, so I'm happy with this. We are using Daedalus Damning because we need to be able to apply 2 curses. So this is the reason we have this ring right here. This slot is pretty much locked in with this build that I've made. So you can't really have anything else but this ring on here. Same goes for the armor, which is also locked in, basically. So it's called the Fallen Formation, which is basically, so we always, our banners always have maximum valor. For the spare ring slot, we are currently using this one. We will be swapping this out for something better in the future. More life, more mana, not really mana, but more life, all resistance, and stuff like chaos resistance and stuff like that is what we really want here. The increased mana and the increased fire damage and life regen is okay, but the rest of it is kind of ass. The accuracy we don't even use, so it's pointless. Now for the amulet, again, we're trying to min-max getting as much life, ES, rarity, stats, and resistances. Again, this is basically what we want. So having 5% life, plus extra life, plus maximum energy shield, plus double rolled rarity, and stats and cold res, it does not get better than this. This is perfect in my opinion for this specific setup. Then currently we are rocking these gloves for the resistances and the dexterity. That's the only reason we are using these gloves right now, but I will be swapping these out in the future for something way better. Same goes for the belt. Currently only using this for the life and the resistances, but I will be swapping this out for something way better in the future. We're also currently using these boots right here, which could definitely also be better. What I would like to see here is kind of like the 35% movement speed is basically the main reasoning behind me using these, but the rarity and chaos resistance comes second there because that's just useful in general. and having life on top of that was just like, okay, these are fairly close to perfect, so I can live with these. But I would have liked to see them preferably in a ES base or something like that. That would have been a lot more preferred in my opinion. But still pretty decent, not bad at all. Like if we could up our ES a lot more than what we have right now, 310 is really not that much. It would give us a lot more safety, which in turn would make us stay alive a lot more. Not that we're dying a ton, it's just it happens. Last but not least, we are using cannot be stunned and cannot be frozen charms, because we kind of have to. We are always up in the front part of the party. We are always in front of everybody else. So we are the first person to get hit whenever we meet an enemy. And for that reason, we do want to have these two guaranteed like every time, because otherwise you're just getting in trouble, getting frozen, not being able to utilize your banners and stuff. And that just in turn just kills you really, really fast. And of course we are using a life flask with charges per second. Same goes for the mana flask, charges per second. That's really what I look for. The rest of the mods on there is just, if they're good, they're good. If not, I don't really care, as long as I'm getting charges every second. Right, so next up would be our gems, which, as you'll see, pretty simple. Only one greater jeweler's orb is needed here. The rest of them is lesser jeweler's orbs, which is basically one of the most common currencies. Like I've filled them out, I'm not even picking them up no more, just because of how common they actually are. So it's a very cheap setup in gems. I wouldn't say that you need any other stuff. So first and foremost, when it comes to gems, we have a companion, which this current companion is by far not the best in slot in any kind of way. I would much more prefer it having more mods. It only has hasted aura. That's basically the only thing we're getting from this one. But we could easily get one that's way better than this. I would probably prefer, in my opinion, to have the invincibility aura. That's just more useful for us. So that is a plan for the future, is we are gonna be hunting down a rare that has those specific mods on there. And for our companion, I'm just currently using the +1 minion. I'm using the meat shield and the elemental army, just to give the fella here a little bit more survivability, honestly. That's about it. There's no other reason to be putting anything else in there in the moment. He's only providing a aura, and that's it. Then we have our movement skill, at least one of them, that's shield charge. And on shield charge we're always using second wind to get 2 charges, so that way we can shield charge 2 times. And then we are using stomping ground on top of that. Not that it's necessary to use, you can definitely just stick with the second wind. It's easily enough. And as you'll see, I can do it right here so you can see. It's not that the recharge rate, or the recharge rate for the skill itself is not that long. Honestly, I don't feel like it's super long. So it comes in handy having 2 tries, or like 2 runs of it. Next up we have the time of need, and here we have fast forward and we have vitality on, which is basically everything you need for this one. Next up we have overwhelming presence. Again, we don't really need any support gems in this one. It's just going to bring down the ailment for enemies in your presence. And then we have, and that's basically, before we go on, this is why you want to kind of have a high increased presence area of effect on your scepter. So as you see here, I have 74%, which could actually get up to 80. But you really do want to have that, right? Like, because it just helps on everything. It helps on your scepter mods here, so having like fire damage and giving people extra fire damage and accuracy and life regen, that helps a lot. But also on your auras and stuff, it helps a lot. So definitely try your best to. That should be the first mod you want to look for, is the area presence increased. But yeah. So you can, I didn't say that, but you can hover over your presence here and it'll show a green ring around you to see how big of the, like how big the area actually is, right? So if we back out right here and we go to the middle, we hover over the presence area, and now you can see how big that area actually is. And I wouldn't mind it having a little bit bigger than what it is right now. Like if we could basically fill the entire screen with it, that would mean anything on my screen is receiving the buffs, and that would just make it a little bit easier to actually see who I'm providing the buffs to in the middle of a map. Now for the main part of the skill gems, the things that we are consistently using throughout the entirety of the map would be the banners. So first we have Defiance banner, we have Persistence, and we have Magnified Effect. It just basically makes the ring bigger, so it's like a full screen situation here. And it also stays out for longer, right? So the Persistence is for it staying out longer. And then we have our War banner, which has refraction on. It's just a nice one to have on that. So as you'll see, this one is slightly less in size when it comes to the size of the ring, but it's so much little, like it's so little that we don't really notice it too much. Last but not least, we have the Dread banner, and again, it's a little bit less in size. As you can tell, it's kind of like less than the others are. The others are a little bit bigger. But yet again, this is not something like the War and the Dread is only used once we are fighting an enemy that takes more than one hit to die. That in that case we're putting down those, but otherwise we are only putting down our Defiance banner. That's why we have that on our left click, our right click on the mouse, because we're just going to run like this. So we're going to put it down, we're going to run, we're going to put it down. Whenever we get to the edge of it, we're going to put down a new one. So that way we're consistently, if we are the first people or the first person in the group to encounter anything and everybody else is behind us, that means everybody else is getting affected by the banner as I'm moving through it, right? That's what you want out of this. It's basic. It's basically really simple to play. You're just looking for that white line. You're just running like this. You're putting down the banner every 2 seconds or second and a half, something like that. And that's it. And then whenever you get to a boss, you put down a banner, you put down the second, you put down the third, and I put down the first one again. And that's it. You just wait for everybody else to kill the enemy. As long as you're staying within the ring of the banners, it shouldn't remove them immediately. It'll take a decent amount of time for them to disappear. You see that the first two went there, and then all you have to do is just place them again, right? And then boom, that's it. And last but not least, we have Blasphemy with Enfeeble and Tempt Change. We have Heightened Curse for more effect, and we have Ritualistic Curse, so that way we have even more effect, like area of effect. And this one is again super easy to use. You're not really doing anything. This one is just everything you walk close to get automatically cursed. And if we go to anywhere on the map, actually we can just go here. Okay, here we go. It's right outside the starting town. As you'll see, everything gets automatically cursed whenever it enters my presence, and that just helps out a lot. And then when we are putting down these banners, we are moving fairly fast, right? So it makes for a really good support character in now this is of course in normal, so you'll see my companion killing everything in one hit. That's definitely not how it's going to be in in-game maps. He's not going to do that kind of damage at all. Let's go back to the hideout. Alright, so last thing is the tree in itself. We covered all the gems, which is super easy. We covered all the gear, fairly easy too. Fairly cheap to make, honestly. Now, first and foremost, for the ascendancies, of course you have to go this direction. You have to be able to place multiple banners. This will always be your first ascend, or your second ascend. This is your first, that is your second, every time. There's just no discussion there. Now, for your third and your fourth ascension, there's a couple of choices here. I personally am gonna go for this one, so I'll take that, and I think I'll take the evasion and armor, or armor and evasion here. And then for the next two, I'll take this one and this one. That's the plan. I haven't even done my third and fourth ascension on this character. It's level 92. I've just been enjoying myself. I've been having a lot of fun. And due to that, I haven't been wanting to, because this is a support character, I cannot actually physically do that, right? Like, I have to actually rely on somebody else doing it for me. So I just haven't really asked anyone or done anything to get it into the fourth ascension, but it's not really needed right now. Yeah, it'll get a little bit extra armor and stuff like that, but it's not super necessary, honestly. You can definitely easily play this on just 2 ascensions, no problem. Now for the 3, as we are a mercenary, we are going to start right here, and we're going to want to move out, and we want to grab the mass hysteria. We want to get some more life regen, more life regen, more life regen, and we're just grabbing this one because it's kind of free. Since otherwise we would be grabbing this one and then these 3. This one was just 3 more armor and evasion and a little bit of strength and dex and reduced critical bonus hits against you. Like, all of it, very useful, very nice. So that's the reason I went that direction. And then we're gonna come up here through the middle, and we're basically gonna go for increased attributes, and we're gonna go for the Bannerman, and we are also gonna come around here. We're gonna grab the banners notes up here for more resistance, and maximum valor is really, really important. So that once we come around here, we're gonna come down, we grab these banners right here, which is just a no-brainer. Then we're gonna move in this direction right here. We're gonna grab the extra strength for some extra life, and also having the stats. I am definitely grabbing these 2 as well, just to buff our life a little bit more. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna grab this one for more stun threshold and maximum life. We're gonna grab these in here for more maximum resistance, and then path our way to the jewel sockets, which is another thing I should probably point out real quick. We kind of want to go for as many jewel sockets as we can. So as you'll see, we have gone for a lot of them. We're gonna come around here, then we're gonna go down here, we're gonna go over here to regenerate our life easier and have like more regeneration rate. And then we're gonna come up here, we're gonna grab another jewel socket, we're gonna come all the way over here to increase our presence and to gain more spirit. And then we are, last but not least, going for this one so we can get even more jewel sockets. Now, this is pretty much what a perfect jewel would look like. It shouldn't have the totem placement speed. It should have something different here. Like, life regen would be really nice. Maximum fire res would be really nice. That would be like my choice personally. But what you really want to have on your jewels is increased area of effect. Increased area of effect for banners. So here we're basically gaining 24% increased area of effect. And we want banner duration increased. And then, as I said, if we can get them life or whatever. And the way this works is the more increased your area of effect is, the bigger this ring around you is going to be, or around the banner is going to be. And the more you push this ring, the easier it is to keep up with putting down the banners and having everybody be inside of them. Because if that area is very, very small, if it's only like this, then you have to be standing right next to everybody consistently. Like, you cannot run that far in front of people if the ring is too small. But when the ring is big like this, like it's like almost a full screen. It's not a full screen yet, but it will be at the end when this build is completely finished. That's what you're looking for. That's what makes the build really good. Now, let's just look at some stats here. Let's get the banner away. There we go. Okay. So, currently, our resistances looks pretty decent when you're looking at it. It's like, oh shit, 78, 78, 77, 75. That's pretty fucking good. But what I'm gonna work towards in the future here is a little bit less resistances on the character itself, and then trading out those resistances. What I want to trade in instead of the resistances is way more rarity, right? So basically we got like 44 on the amulet here. We want to kind of lose this. We want to use the unique ring that's going to give us 70% increased rarity, and then we kind of want to see if we can figure out a pair of gloves that gives us more rarity as well, and a helmet with even more rarity on. And that way we should get somewhere in the 200 to 400-ish area. That is the goal. That is the idea with the build, is we get to that point. And then once we add the point where we add like 200 plus rarity, we will swap the gloves, and we will put the gloves on that makes enemies in our presence count as being killed by us, and having all the rarity. And then on top of that, having the curses and the banners. Now we become like the ultimate support character, because we're gonna basically give people our rarity. We're gonna provide people with extra resistances, extra damage, extra life regen, extra everything that you want. Basically, it's this character is gonna be able to provide that. You're not going to be able to do anything yourself. You're just going to provide everybody in the party whatever they need. On top of that, we're stat stacking, basically, because we want to have the ability to use strength-based items, strength and dex-based items, and intelligence-based items, right? In terms of like gems and other stuff like that. So companions, for instance, is a dex pure based gem, so you need a lot of dexterity in order to get this to level 20, for instance. Or blasphemy, that's an intelligence based gem, so you'll need like 205 intelligence to put on a level 20. Then you have stuff like the banners, which is kind of split between a dex and strength. Then you have overwhelming presence, which is a strength based gem, so you need, like, again, you need 205 to put that on, and you need 205 dex to put on the companion at level 20. So for that reason, we're boosting all of our stats like strength, intelligence, and dexterity to a point where we can put on level 20 gems on every single attribute, right? So it doesn't matter if it's strength, dex, or intelligence based. We'll always have enough because we have 205, more than 205 of each one of them. Of course, you want to go higher on the strength as much as you can, because strength is life, and life provides you with more safety. On top of that, when we go to place our banners, you'll notice that my resistances goes up by quite a bit. Now that's why I kind of want to slag a little bit on resistance on the gear, and in turn boost our rarity, since we're getting so much resistance from just placing this one banner. You can see it says 138, 148, 125, so that is quite a bit that we are gaining from that. Like the one banner that we always place is giving us that much, and if I walk outside, it lingers for 4 seconds. There you go, it goes back down. So as you can see, this is quite useful because it lingers even after I left the banner zone. So that means that I'll always be able to keep that up, basically, right? Because it won't take me that long to put down the next banner. And for that reason, you can kind of slack on the resistances a little bit here if you want to. I'm not doing it currently, but I will be in the future. And once we start placing all of our banners, then you'll see the resistance go absolutely outrageous, right? So if let's just place all of our banners like this. Now we're rocking 232, 242, 219. You see what I mean? Like, this is outrageous. and it all lingers too. So it's not like it just instantly disappears. It doesn't. You still have to come outside the circle, and then you have to be outside the circle for 4 seconds for it to disappear. Very, very useful. Incredibly well functioning character. Very happy with where I've gotten it, the result I've gotten out of it, and I'm really happy to bring you guys this one. I'm really proud of this one. Again, 100% made by myself. I've had no help in any kind of way here. It's just me doing this shit and spending hours and hours and hours and hours on researching, or like not researching, but attempting and playing around with shit and using path of building to research if this is even a thing that I can do. You know, like, can I even reach this area of the tree? Starting out, like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to reach this one, the Profane Commander. So I was starting to think, am I gonna have to like anoint that onto my amulet? And then by anointing it onto my amulet, I'm missing out on 6% or 5% spirit here. Plus, I'm missing out on fucking 35% area presence area. I was like, man, I can't. I have to go to path of building to figure out if that's actually possible. And if it is the way that I was visioning it, then I was like, okay, I'm going for it. And then I figured out that it's definitely possible to do this build, and I will be upgrading it a little bit over time. It's a couple of things I want to kind of swap around and change around, but for now I'm really happy with it. It performs incredible, and yeah, there's not a lot more to say about it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good jazz if you want to see more of the stuff in the future, if you like what I'm doing, and if you want to see the channel grow. And also, I'll leave you guys with some gameplay, of course, so you guys can see what it looks like when you're actually playing in a group setting. And then hopefully you enjoy it. I'll catch you all in the next one. God damn, this just plays so fucking nice. It's like playing PoE1 again. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Speed and power. Come on, boys. Push it. Let me just go up here. So what we want to do is we want to kind of stick close to this guy so he gets cursed and all of this stuff all at the same time, right? That is like the idea here. To be the ultimate support. Give these people a bit of crutches that they can use to walk around with. What was that even? Like, what type of... Like, how do we... I don't get it. There's no decoding that and being like, yo, this is what I died to. This is what I need to change. That was just, boom, you're dead. There was no chance anyone would have reacted to that. We all died at the exact same fucking time. Damn.